Cyn Doll here, coming at you with another video. We are going to talk about how to go from thin to thick hair right in your kitchen. By the end of this video, you will know how to use everyday items to master your hair growth cycle. So if you want to know how to get from thin to thick hair fast, then make sure you keep watching. I'm going to take these glasses off though because I think there's a glare.
Trust that exactly where you are is where you're meant to be. So keep your chin up so your crown doesn't fall. Remember, you're royalty.
Healthy hair is easy to obtain when you understand the way that the human body works and what it needs. At the age of 30, the body begins to slow down, creating amino acids needed for healthy hair growth. So by the end of this video, you will have the tools that you need to reverse scalp inflammation, alopecia, telogen effluvium, and so many other scalp disorders in this very short video. So stick around to the end and I promise I got you. Little disclaimer, in this video I am simply giving you my opinion based on as a licensed cosmetologist and herbalist for over a decade. Okay, so let's hop right into this. Number one, talk about macronutrients and micronutrients. All right, most of us know about the macronutrients. Now, macronutrients are the things that the body needs to maintain your body's natural functions, right? So the things that you need to eat in higher amounts, right, to maintain the body. But then when we're talking about micronutrients, the micronutrients that the body ingests are literally the vitamins, the enzymes, and all of these different things that go into actually producing your hair growth cells, that go into producing your lungs, your blood, and all of these different things, right? Number one, let's go ahead and start with iron. Iron is so important in the body. Why? Well, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is so important because hemoglobin helps you to transfer oxygen from your respiratory system to the rest of the body. So if you have low levels of hemoglobin in the body, it'll make it very, very hard for oxygen to travel through the blood. And it is imperative because when we're talking about hair growth, that is all triggered throughout the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle. And remember, your hair bulb is attached to your blood supply, right? And that blood supply is what is helping the body to get more oxygen flow. But another thing too that we have to hit, especially as we're talking about oxygen flow, you have to be very careful with what products you're putting on the scalp. This is why I've been teaching you guys about the comedogenic scale. If something is high on the comedogenic scale, like let's say a 5 on the comedogenic scale, you will find that your anagen phase of the hair growth cycle is cut a little shorter. The follicle isn't receiving enough oxygen. Have low levels of iron, that means that you'll also have low levels of hemoglobin, which will reduce the amount of oxygen that the hair follicle is getting. This will cut the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle down because there won't be enough oxygen flow for your hair growth cells to continuously reproduce themselves and do everything else that they need to do. This will also form certain types of alopecia where the canogen phase of the hair growth cycle is increased because the blood flow is so weak to the follicle. And the canogen phase is the phase where where your blood supply detaches itself from the follicle, and this is most likely a person who has burning in the scalp, tingling, and a whole lot of scalp inflammation. This simply comes from the oxygen flow being cut short. Next up, we have zinc. Low zinc levels in the body can cause a whole lot of thinning. Only one of these that the body produces on its own is vitamin D. Everything else you are going to have to ingest to the body, and I know a lot of people want to take supplements, and that's fine, but that's not what we're talking about today. If your hair is thinning out a lot, most likely you have really, really low zinc levels, and this is why. Zinc produces a bunch of enzymes that create protein, and your hair is made up of purely protein, mostly protein, okay? A protein called keratin. If you have low zinc levels, you will notice that the hair will be like really thin, and a lot of people will think that the hair is thinning, but in reality, because the zinc levels are so low, your hair is a lot more transparent than it would be. So increasing your zinc levels naturally would then in return cause in you having thicker hair, and the hair is going to grow out of the follicle even thicker because of the amount of amino acids that the body has to work with, because of the amount of vitamins and nutrients that you're putting into the body that the body can then begin to work with to produce new hair growth cells for you. This also introduces telogen effluvium. I tell you guys about telogen effluvium all the time, but telogen effluvium is induced within the body through stress, right? And stress can come in so many different ways. It can come through childbirth, very stressful. It can come through losing a job, any type of sickness, death in the family, losing a job, COVID, or whatever, right? A lot of people experience a lot of thinning and shedding and their hair falling out after COVID, baby. That was telogen effluvium and nothing else, right? So what happens with telogen effluvium, the telogen phase of the hair growth cycle is the phase where your hair shaft just goes into a nap. It takes rest, right? So it's basically like,
oh man, they shooting! Girl, you better run, go in your house. Go in your house, Barbara. Get in there. Girl, you better get in the house, Barbara.
like that's what's going on, right? So with the telogen phase, because they shooting outside, your hair growth, your hair follicle just rests within your hair shaft, just rests within the hair follicle, and it doesn't continue growing up, and it never pokes out because it's just like, let's sit here and let's chill until they stop shooting. The more stress you have, the higher the cortisol level is within the body, and the higher this level is within the body, zinc your body will need. So if you are already deficient in zinc and then your cortisol levels rise, resulting in the body needing to produce more zinc to fight that, then you will notice balding and thinning in the hair and excessive telogen effluvium, which in return leads to alopecia. All right, so there's so many different forms of alopecia, but all of them can be traced back to your diet. But let's keep going because we haven't even scratched the surface. Wait. It's imperative that you beef up on your omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are super important when it comes to hair health and scalp health because they fight off inflammation within the body. So many times we want to focus on putting hair products on the scalp and on the hair shaft, but the number one place that you have to fight scalp inflammation, balding, and anything is first within the body, right? So whenever you begin ingesting omega-3 fatty acids, they have enough anti-inflammatory properties to begin to fight off different bacteria that could be attacking the hair follicle, or that could be throwing off your body's natural hair growth cycle from causing different stress, right? Because you can have stress going on in the body simply from an illness, right, or an ailment. Anything going on in the body could cause stress. So if you lower the stress levels, if you lower those cortisol levels, the body won't need to produce as much zinc. So then you won't have to worry about it adding to a zinc deficiency. And then omega-6 fatty acids are great, right? But omega-6 fatty acids are the things that kind of mess us up because most of the time the omega-6 fatty acids are the ones that we eat too much of. There has to be a balance. Vitamin D is so important. It's so important. And don't stop being nasty. Don't stop being nasty. Vitamin D is amazing at stimulating hair growth. High levels of vitamin D in the body reduce so much inflammation within the scalp, which in return will lower your chances of having alopecia, and it could actually reduce or eliminate your alopecia altogether, because at the end of the day, alopecia is simply inflammation of the hair follicle for a lot of different reasons. So that's why why most doctors say they don't really know the cause, because there are so many different things that can go into the inflammation of the scalp. And most of the time, the things that cause the inflammation in the first place are things that the people who have alopecia are still doing and kind of refuse to stop doing. As it pertains to you taking supplements and all of that stuff, and even you drinking teas and things of that nature, it is imperative that your gut health is important, because if you don't have a healthy gut, then your microbiome and everything won't even be able to break down these different herbs and botanicals and vitamins that you're ingesting into the body. Think of your gut as the paper shredder for your body. So Celium, this one is bomb, okay, because low levels of this will actually really cause you to have high levels of dandruff. Most of the time, if you go get a blood panel taken or you get different tests ran on in your body, when they do the test, or most people that have dandruff have low levels of this element, right? And this element is so important for you to ingest into the body. Ingesting fruits and vegetables and different things that have this element in abundance will almost instantly reduce your scalp inflammation and could completely reverse the things that are going wrong in your body. Absolutely amazing when it comes to thyroid health. So it's crazy, because simply one Brazil nut will give you more than enough of this element, all right? But just imagine if you ingested or you added Brazil nuts to your diet. Let's say every day you had a salad with Brazil nuts in it, or every day you had a little cup of mixed nuts that also have Brazil nuts in it. It would be absolutely amazing and more than enough of this element to fight off inflammation within the body. We're going to talk about biotin. Biotin is something that everybody talks about, and they're like, oh, let me take biotin, but did you know that biotin is created within your gut? It is one element that is within the body, and it is produced within the gut. If you're a person who is on antibiotics and you begin taking antibiotics, you may notice that your hair is starting to thin out. Well, the reason that your hair is beginning to thin out is because when you take an antibiotic, it goes into your gut and it begins to break down your good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So your intention is for it to go in there and break down the bad bacteria, but it's breaking down your good bacteria too. And as it breaks down the good bacteria, it also kills all of the biotin that is within the body. And the biotin that the gut is producing is what is helping you produce the enzymes and all of that grow your hair, skin, and nails. So this is why all of these micronutrients are so important, because like I said, the macros, they go into the maintenance of your hair, but the micros are what is actually going to build your hair in general. So remember, you need a healthy gut, because the biotin is created through your microbiome. So it is so important, basically through your boo-boo that's up in there, girl. That's where you be making the stuff, like up in the boo-boo shoot. So it's really important that your gut health is A1, because if it's not, then your body's gonna have a really hard time breaking down all of the things that you're putting into the body, so it can send these different botanicals and vitamins to the places of the body that they need to be in, so that your hair growth cycle can be produced, all right, so it can finish itself. And next up is vitamin C. Vitamin C is so freaking important, because vitamin C goes into the production of collagen, and collagen is also something that your hair is made of. Your hair is made of keratin and collagen, so it's really important that you have a balance of all of these botanicals and all of these vitamins. Also, collagen goes into the elasticity of your skin, right? So the skin on your face and the health of your scalp. So the more that you have that healthy balance, the healthier your scalp would be, the healthier your skin would be, and all of these different things. But these are all things that you must need. And the very last one is folate. Is folate. So I'm pretty sure that you've heard of it before. Most of the time when you're pregnant or expecting, you are taking folic acid for the baby to help with the production of your baby's hair, skin, and nails, and to keep your hair, skin, and nails healthy, right? But the natural the natural version of it is called folate. So folic acid is something, it's the same thing, but it's different. It's basically like the artificial version of it. Okay, again, this is something that builds proteins that also build hair, skin, and nails. Then if you have a deficiency, what you'll notice is your hair, skin, and nails will be weaker. Your skin may be a different color, or like it may not be as vibrant, it may not have as much of a glow. You may have a whole lot of acne. Your hair may be thinning a lot, and your nails may be pretty fragile and always breaking and things of that nature, simply because you have a deficiency. So the proteins that went into building hair, girl, you ain't had that many strong tools. Your tools wasn't strong enough when you was trying to build the stuff. Just simply eating a salad once a day will give your body all of the folate it needs, like, period. So it is not hard for you to be able to grow healthy hair. And when we are talking about products, what products to use, what shampoos, what conditioners, and things of that nature to use, these are all things that go into the maintenance of your hair once your hair is already grown. But if you need to thicken your hair, if you want to stop thinning, if you want to stop shedding, if you want to stop balding or anything like that, any form of alopecia, if you want to reverse alopecia or anything, it is imperative that you start on the micro level. So if you need a little bit more information, if you want a little bit more information about all of these different things that I've taught you today with some additional information, then make sure you download this ebook here, because in this ebook I break everything down. In this ebook, not only do I go over everything we talked about today in great detail, I also explain to you every single amino acid that goes into producing your healthy hair, skin, and nails. I'm going to break down to you in this ebook what foods to eat and what foods that you probably should kind of stay away from, a diet and a planner for you to stick to, so you can understand what your body could be lacking that could be causing your hair to fall out, and exactly what you can put within the body to make sure that your hair growth cycle is following its regular regimen. All right, I love you guys so much. Again, make sure you click the link in the description box below so you can get your hand on this ebook, because I am so in love with it, and it literally puts everything that we talked about today in perspective. All right, I love you guys so much, and if this video taught you anything, please leave me some comments below and let me know what you learned different today. And lastly, okay, I promise this is the last thing, make sure you check the link in the description box below and check out this full blog post where I break everything down. Guru 101, you already know you have a video coming where I'm breaking down this blog post even deeper. And Guru VIP, you have a full lecture on enzymes part 2. all right, if you're already in VIP and you haven't watched the hour-long lecture that we have on enzymes, then make sure you watch that, or you're going to be confused. But I'll see you in a minute.